Hi everyone. What a week for financial markets. Global stock markets receive red this week as risk appetite takes a knock. Asian stocks fell by the most since August last year. European markets are all lower and the sell-off is broad-based with no sector spared. Every sector in the FTSE 100 is lower, led by the financial sector and materials. Instead, traders are rushing into safe havens. The dollar and the Swiss franc are the two best performers in the G10 FX space this week. Some emerging market currencies are under a lot of pressure. The Indonesian rupiah is lower by nearly 2% in the last couple of days, which has forced the Indonesian authorities to directly intervene to stem the decline. The Indian rupee is at a record low versus the US dollar. This increases the risk of a currency crisis and is something to watch out for. The carnage in the markets is caused by multiple factors, including a spike in bond market volatility, which is at its highest level since the start of the year. The market's now less sure about Fed rate cuts this year, and the risk of the first move from the Fed being a rate hike rather than a cut is actually rising. Economic data in the US continues to surprise on the upside, while UK wage growth remains stubbornly high. The prospect of a delay in interest rate cuts globally is pushing up global bond yields and borrowing costs, which is worrying investors and weighing on stock markets. Of course, geopolitical risks are also rising, as Israel weighs up its plan to retaliate after Iran's drone and missile strikes at the weekend. The situation in the Middle East is fluid. The initial reaction was muted, but if the attacks continue, this is going to hurt risk sentiment. The latest risk to digest is China. GDP for the first quarter was stronger than expected and rose at a 5.3% annual rate, which was higher than the 4.8% rate expected. However, the details of March growth rates were disappointing. Industrial production and retail sales fell, while the property sector is still under pressure. Property investment fell 9.5% on an annual basis last month. Added to this, while it's early days for the first quarter earnings season, they've been a mixed bag so far. This week sees the start of tech earnings season, and Netflix will report their results later this week. This is another risk factor that the markets have to digest. Overall, when volatility rises, this brings with it opportunity. It can be scary when asset prices are falling sharply, but they're not going to fall forever. That's all for now. Thank you for joining.